On today's episode, we have our fact checks for the month.
We tell more embarrassing stories.
And we have our discussion on gray aliens, all coming up on the Seg-Way Podcast.
Hey, welcome to the Seg-Way Podcast.
The best thing to happen to you on a Thursday.
That is right, recording live in LeBron's backyard. Dude, we got a new head coach.
For the Browns?
For the Browns, yeah. Have you stayed up on that at all? Kevin Stefanski?
Yeah, he was the OC for the Vikings.
Yes. Good job. I'm actually really proud of you. And that might sound sarcastic because I think my tone just lends itself to sarcasm. But I really am. I'm surprised you knew that, and I'm proud of you. I'm like a dad who just saw his son throw his first out. Like, he struck the first batter out, and like that little tear.
I didn't understand your meme, though. I didn't understand what that meant at all.
Okay, Claire's a really big fan of Lizzo.
Yes.
That, like, new man from the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, okay.
So I said, hey, you know, when you sing that now, the Browns do have a new man from the Minnesota Vikings. So she's like, oh my God. And she went and created that. She thought it was going to go viral, which I thought it could have, because she put a lot of effort into it.
Too much.
Did not. But I'm excited for that. He wasn't my original choice, and I don't want to be on this too much. But I'm excited. I'm excited about it. You know, how can I not be? We went from good old Freddie, who's, if you don't wear brown and orange, you don't matter. We're going to just play football, to Mr. Analytics, who's like, I'm going to use analytics to make the most educated choices I can make.
You just like analytics.
I do like analytics.
He's trying to be Moneyball over
What
here.
What is analytics? Analytics is having the most information possible to make the most educated decisions possible. Who wouldn't want that? Who's like, nah, I'm good. I'll stick with me and Wikipedia.
I don't know. I feel like if you play football, you probably don't do good on the analytics so much.
Well, good thing he's not playing. He's coaching.
Well, he did play at one point, probably.
He did. He was, I think, a defensive back.
Yeah, so he doesn't know math.
Can you believe that January is almost over? Like, it's the end of the first month of the year. Like, 2020 just started, and we're already almost done with the whole month.
I was about to fight you. I was like, it's not almost over. When this comes out, it'll be almost over.
Yes.
I can't believe that, honestly. When this comes out, I'm going to be a couple days away from my vacation.
Really?
Like a week and a couple days.
Okay.
Because this is paranormal. We still have Davey coming out.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, this isn't like the very end of the month like it normally is.
Surprise! We got Davey Squires going to be on the podcast next week, so make sure you stick around for that.
That's going to be super exciting.
Fifth week is the perfect fifth, music related. Whether we talk about music or we interview a musician, we're interviewing a musician.
Yeah,
That's what we were supposed to do last time.
Yes, it was.
Except for some unfortunate
stuff happened.
Yes. Not our fault this time. Like the Ray thing in December.
that was our fault.
That was on us. But the other one, Parker.
Phone on silent, Tyler.
Parker.
I know for the first big food, we're going on a quest.
Yes.
A journey, as you will.
Indeed.
However, I do want to point this out. We're not going to rate it, but the restaurant we go to, Varieties.
Are you dying?
No,
Are you
just
okay?
try not to fucking...
Just breathe. Try with me. Okay. All right. Breath.
So Varieties.
I don't think they know anything about Varieties.
Okay. The restaurant we go to before we do this sometimes.
Yes.
They have such a solid burger.
Mm-hmm.
That, we're not ranking it because it's not, we've been there 1,000 times.
Right. It literally is 3 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
So if we're going to eat before the podcast, it's literally right there.
Yeah. It's such a solid burger, though, every time. I like it a lot. They also don't have do they have a veggie burger?
They do. I tried it once, remember?
Oh, yeah, you didn't. Yeah,
it wasn't great. It was fine.
Yeah.
It was fine.
But they have the Texas burger I get sometimes. It's so good.
Yeah. What's on it?
Onion rings, which I don't really like that much, but it works really well. Some cheddar cheese, barbecue sauce. Coleslaw normally if I give it out. But it's really good. I mean, I don't know. I'd probably give it a come see, come saw at least.
So you are ranking it?
I guess if I did rank it, it'd be that, but I'm not really ranking it because I can't.
Okay. But you're endorsing it.
Yeah, I'm endorsing it. It's really good.
So you're endorsing it, but you're going to give it a come see, come saw?
I guess that's a little low, isn't it?
Yeah. But you know what? You do you. You can always change it later.
I mean,
I'll ask you again.
Yeah.
Speaking of asking you things, did you disconnect your PlayStation Plus yet?
No.
Well, dude.
I gotta do that.
You only got 11 months left.
The thought crossed my mind, though.
So I have a story. I normally ask you a question. This time I have a story.
Okay.
So if anybody pays attention to our Instagram stories, if you follow us at the Seg-Way Podcast on Instagram, it's definitely our most lively social channel. So go join it and follow right now. But you and I both like to take photos and videos of us taking our dogs on walks.
Yeah, we do.
Annie and Apollo, respectively. One thing when I lived in Cuyahoga Falls, one thing I really liked about the falls is how there were sidewalks everywhere. Like you didn't have to have a plan. You could literally just be like, I'm going to go on a walk, and wherever I go, there's going to be sidewalks. And that felt really nice. In North Canton, surprisingly, not all the streets have sidewalks. Now there's a lot of chill, slow streets, so I don't mind walking on the street corner or the side. But I like to stick to sidewalks, so I kind of have my own set schedule now of where I walk. I was gonna mile it out so I knew how long it was, but that doesn't really matter. But so since I've been walking Annie since like June, there's this house I passed, which is a decent amount of time away from my house. There's a little toy dinosaur on, like, they have like their landscape. So while you're on the sidewalk, right at the end of their yard in the beginning of the sidewalk, there's like stone. Like, what is that called? What would you call that? I call it their landscape. I don't know what is that called. It's like they have a hill, but they don't want it to be a big hill like I have, so they built stone around it to make it more even. What would you call that?
I don't know.
That's my question to you. What would you call it?
Stonewall?
Stonewall. They got Stonewall Jackson. They got Stonewall Jackson in the front, and there was just this little toy dinosaur. And this goes all the way back to summer when me and Ethan would walk around the neighborhood watch. And every now and then, and it would move, though. Like, it would move. It would stay out front, but it would move. So every now and then, I would just pick it up and move it. It's like playing chess with somebody I don't know. And every now and like, dude, we've had snowstorms. We've had some huge, huge windstorms, if that's a thing. And it's still there. It is still out there today. So what I'm thinking about doing is I'm thinking about buying a plastic dinosaur and putting it next to it and just see what happens. Ethan's like, we should buy a whole bunch. I'm like, yeah, like old Jurassic Park in the front. They're like, what's happening? Because somebody else is moving it. I don't know if it's somebody else who's like walking around or somebody who lives there, but I want to know if they notice it. And so I want to put a couple more dinosaurs out there. So they're like, what the hell is going on?
Get a toy Jeep.
Yeah, little Ian Malcolm must go faster, go faster. But would you notice that if somebody was moving, if you had a toy on your Stonewall Jackson, would you notice if somebody was moving it?
I mean, yeah, probably. If you put it somewhere.
Yeah, it's this little like Stegosaurus little dude. I posted on my Instagram I posted on our Instagram story about a week or two ago. By now, probably 3 weeks ago. But either way, I'm gonna post an Instagram story about when I do get the more toy dinosaurs, and I'll update you guys on that. But that's all the best things happen to me when I'm walking Annie. So I hope that trend continues going into 2020.
Fact check. So I've got 3.
Okay. Well, you have 4 now, don't you?
No, it's 3.
Okay, just kidding.
I miscounted.
You have 3.
I have 3.
3 strikes and you're out.
All right. The first one, I will give Tyler the credit for because he did question me, and then I was like, "Do you have the article?" And I was like, "I guess I can try to find it." And I couldn't find it because it didn't exist. Gems did not take over the Wolf of Wall Street in the most amount of swear F-bombs.
Right.
It was the number 7th position.
Right.
Which seems low, but...
Yeah, I think it had... Hold on, I actually wrote this down, I believe. One article I looked at said Uncut Gems had 408 F-bombs, and another one just said an even 500, so I think they were just rounding. Mm-hmm. But apparently, Wolf of Wall Street comes in with 569 F-bombs.
Wow.
Which is, there's 2 documentaries that are specifically about swearing that rank higher than Wolf of Wall Street. Mm-hmm. But if you look at just films that aren't documentaries about swearing, Wolf of Wall Street's number 1. Shout out to Matt, because you just told me off the air. Yeah. Off the air. Apparently Matt thought that too, so shout out to Matt.
He knows everything about movies.
He does know everything.
Okay. Also, I found out when the Olympics start. They start in July.
They do start in July.
Of 2020.
What?
What? Of 2020. What?
I think it's like the 24th, right?
I didn't look the exact date.
That's fine.
It was July.
Yeah, you're right. It is July. Correct.
And also, I said there was a name.
Oh, dude.
For the Mars rover.
You gotta... Hold on.
What?
You gotta say how confidently you said that it had a name. You're like, no, it has a name. I don't know it, but I know it does. Do you now?
I said I'm sure it has a name.
No, I listened to it today, my friend.
Okay.
You said, I know it has a name.
I know it has a name. Well, I was wrong.
Put the dunce cap on. Put the fucking dunce cap on.
I was wrong. It does not have a name. But
go in the corner.
A campaign to name it yet.
What's the campaign?
What do you mean, what's the campaign?
Yeah.
Like people are going to vote on it.
Who are the people?
I don't know. Scientists?
No, children.
Oh.
It's called the Name the Mars Rover contest.
Oh.
They're having K through 12 students write essays. They're down to 28. They had 28,000 submissions, and they're down to 155 students.
I don't think I deserve the dunce cap for that.
No, you don't. It was funny, though, because when I was doing the fact check, that was one of the ones that stuck out to me, because I couldn't find it when we did that. And then when I saw that...
I was pretty sure that it was like, oh, I'm sure they named this.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that.
I'm just giving you a hard time, dude. It doesn't matter. But they will know the name in March of 2020.
Woo, it's pretty close.
It is. And a kid's got a name. It's probably going to be like, Fortnite. Okay, so...
Pikachu.
Sorry. Let's see. Trainwreck. I don't even remember what I said, but I didn't know exactly the year that Trainwreck came out. It was when we were talking about Swenson's, and I said LeBron took that crew to Swenson's.
Yes.
Came out in 2015.
Oh.
Bilby got me on this one. Listener, my buddy Josh Bilby was like, yo, when you were talking about the dentist, I said Chris Skylark. It's Chip Skylark.
Oh.
Chris is the voice actor, the guy from NSYNC.
Oh, okay.
But the character's name, who we were like the shiny teeth and me,
yeah,
Chip Skylark. So
Chip Skylark.
He caught me on that. Who said the Seg-Way Boys? It was 35 bricks.
Was it? Okay, I thought it was.
On November 7th, it was...
Oh, that was my other fact check.
Well, but you weren't wrong. You thought it was them.
Yeah.
So you were right, but it's an update.
Yes.
The Hardy Boys. Did you look at that?
I did. It is not Jeff.
Right?
What are they?
It's Joe and Frank.
Joe. I knew it was Joe. I knew it was...
Not the wrestlers, and not Jeff and Matt Hardy. It's Frank and Joe Hardy.
Well, I didn't know the wrestlers' names at all, so that's fine.
You were right. When we were talking about which drugs are harder, heroin is harder than cocaine.
Yeah, I wasn't... Like, I didn't even put that in fact check, because I knew that.
Well...
I guess I should have. But...
You should have stood by it, then. And finally, we were like, what do they do with the ice rink? What do they do with the basketball court?
Oh, did you look it up?
How do they get that to go? So what they do is the ice is technically only like an inch thick. And it's many, many tiny layers. And what they do is they use calcium chloride, which keeps it frozen. And so the rink is actually underneath the court. So when a basketball game happens, they put insulated plywood over top the ice rink. And then, kind of like a puzzle, they put together the hardwood floor that is the basketball court.
Okay. That makes more sense. Because
it does, yes.
Yeah, because I feel like if it had been the other way, I think there's more chance of the wood getting damaged.
Correct. Yeah. So it makes sense that it would be hockey rink, plywood, basketball court, rather than reverse.
I'd be a bitch putting that out every time.
Yeah, it said it only takes about 90 minutes.
That's a long time. Probably a lot of people do it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like probably
tons
50
of people.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it seems like imagine if we had to do it. Like we'd be like, all right, can we push this game? Make it an away game. make it an away game. What are they doing at Staples Center?
Play that in the jar. Play that in the jar,
yeah,
please.
Just go there.
Yeah.
That is fact check. All right, it is embarrassing story time. The time where we just lay our truths out there, and y'all get to revel in our, embarrassment.
I've got a twofer.
You got a twofer?
I got a twofer.
Twofer.
You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. No, I'll go first.
Okay.
So, unbeknownst to me, for about almost a year, we lived together in the same exact dorm our freshman year.
Yes, we did.
You were on the 4th floor, and I was on the 3rd floor of Galucci Hall at University of Akron.
Yeah.
The year was 2010.
Oh my god.
10 years ago now. I know, that's crazy. So, there was... I didn't realize how much of an introvert I was until I lived in a dorm. Because people would just walk up and down the hallways in, just shorts or whatever, or, underwear. And everybody would just have their door open. The only time I ever left my door open, somebody asked to use a Xbox charger. And I had to go and get it back, 3 months later. And then he asked for it again for a day or two later. And I don't have it. He still has it. So I learned my lesson not to do that. Tyler, my roommate was my buddy Tyler Wright. And he did much better, probably, meeting people and stuff. He would play volleyball with them and stuff. And I just it was my best semester in terms of grades. I just stayed in there and just did my homework. But there was this one day early on, 2 weeks in, where me and Tyler were like, let's just have fun and let's just try and meet some people. Let's just have fun. And this was the year before our senior year of high school, me and him got involved with theater and improv. So we thought we were good. We thought we were the shit at improv. We actually joined an improv group at Akron. So we were like, trying to, in your terms, we were trying to flex a little bit. So we were walking around our floor, and there's this door open, and there's just these two girls. Just sitting in their dorm on their bed, whatever. And I walk in, and I just have this Australian accent. And I'm just trying, I'm like, I'm not going to do it now. I mean, because it's just not worth it. But I was pretty much saying, what are you guys doing? I'm from here. This is my first time in Ohio. This is so exciting. And you could tell they just, we don't give a shit. We don't care. And then Tyler, I really don't remember what Tyler did. He might have just been going off what I was doing. I don't know if he did an accent as well. But we were just, playing around. And then we killed ourselves. We were like, no, we're just playing. We're just playing. We're just, we just live over there, and we're the Tylers. You can call us Tyler Squared, because his name's Tyler Wright, too. And they just kind of looked at us like, okay. And we went back to the dorm and kind of looked at each other, and we're like, let's never leave. Let us never leave the dorm ever again. And it would have been better if we didn't kill ourselves. We kind of shut ourselves down at the same moment. It would have been better if I had tried to convince him the whole year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then it was only a 3-minute interaction. And then at the end it'd be like, yeah, we're not. We were just playing around. They were probably like, what a bunch of freaks.
That physically hurt me.
Yeah.
My stomach is like, oh,
man. It's not like a punchline funny. It's because it's not. It's just cringy. It's a scene that you would fast forward in a movie because you don't want to feel that grossness.
Yeah. Oh, man. So Tyler and I, we got to make some music for a play, and that was really cool. We had cues and stuff.
As You Like It.
As You Like It, Shakespeare's
University of Akron.
Yes.
What 2014?
I don't remember the year.
I think it was 14.
2014?
That's my guess.
Sure. I guess so.
Let's not fact check that. It doesn't matter.
It was a fun time, and we played guitar together, and we did other kind of stuff, hit bells. And
what other stuff did we do?
we hit bells and stuff. We, did some other noises. It was mostly guitar.
We just made noises.
We sat in the back going, whoa! But anyway, so there was this guy who, I haven't talked to him for a while, but we became friends after this, which really surprised me because he was pretty mad. We were supposed to play his outro music. He was going to leave the stage, and he left to a guitar. Was it a riff?
I don't remember. Dude.
It was a chord progression that he was supposed to leave the stage to. And on this particular night, his parents were in the audience.
Oh.
Do you remember that?
I remember you telling me that.
His parents were in the audience to see him perform this As You Like It. And he was about to... No, he wasn't about to leave. He had made a cue, which I had took for his exit. And I started going as loud as I can. And I was looked over at Tyler, and he wasn't playing. And I was like, oh, I'm going too soon. Huh. And I was just
Did he look
playing.
over at us?
He did. Oh, yeah. He made eye contact with me. And I strummed the last chord. I was like, no. And he continued his lines. And then he looked at us again, and he left.
Did he flip you off?
No, but I remember he didn't, the way it was set up, he had to look at us and then turn the corner. He looked at us the whole time. He didn't, his body went around the corner, but his head stayed focused on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess for frame of reference, this theater is flat. It's a flat theater. And so even though we were the only pit band, we were just on chairs just like the audience. Well, the audience were probably on risers on the flat ground.
It was a thrust and...
Yes. And so we were right there. It wasn't like a normal pit where there's a stage and you're hidden underneath. We were on the same level as the actors. So it was very easy for him to, stare Charlie down. Hopefully I didn't get attached to that.
I don't think you did. I think it was just me.
It's making them blow.
I remember I tried to pass it off on you too. I was like, me and Tyler both played the part.
I was like, no. Hold your head.
And we, after this, it went dark. Me and Tyler were just laughing into each other. It was funny.
We were literally the only pit band. It was just you and me and guitars. Did we really have other noises?
Yeah, it bells and stuff.
Really?
I think so.
I don't remember that. I remember that for Long Christmas Ride Home. I don't remember that for As You Like. We probably did, dude. I
think so.
Whatever.
Can I get to another story?
Absolutely.
Okay, so cut back many years ago. I was a little kid.
Yes.
Probably 5. And until 5 until
yesterday.
13 years old, I didn't really know how to eat Reese's. You know, the Reese's peanut butter cups?
He would just smash them into his forehead and be like, am I eating them, Mom? Am I eating them?
I would unpeel them. I would get them out of the package, and I would eat them, which is why I thought you did, until I was about 13, and I realized, you know how Reese's have that, like, piece of paper on the cup, like, underneath the wrapper? There's, like, another wrapper?
Yeah.
I didn't realize there was another wrapper.
So when you're chewing it, you weren't like,
No, I just ate it. I didn't really like Reese's until...
I imagine not.
I found out there was another piece of paper.
Like, this is a terrible model for a, chocolate
this
candy.
This isn't very good. And
why would they do that?
I would never pick Reese's, and I was like, I don't like that very much. And then I found out that you took the piece of paper off, and I was like, oh man, that's pretty good.
Were you one of those, not one of those people, did you eat the wax lips?
No.
Did you want to?
No.
Okay. You seem like somebody that might have eaten.
It's just wax.
Hey, you ain't wrapping paper, bro.
That's true.
When you opening Christmas presents,
I didn't like it.
Chomping on your present. Like,
I
Charlie.
didn't like it, though.
All right.
I'm not a goat.
I'm glad you didn't like it. That is probably the most important thing about the story.
Yeah. Welcome to Paraformal. So, for this Paraformal, we decided that we were going to skip our third segment.
Right.
And just go straight to the Paraformal, which is different than usual.
Yeah, one, because this is something Charlie's very passionate about.
Oh, passion's a good word.
And two, as Charlie kind of alluded to earlier, this isn't coming out exactly right when it's coming out.
Right.
So the head coach thing, whatever. But we're trying to make it semi-relevant. And you can't talk about topical things when things are spaced weeks apart.
Right.
I mean, it's not like we recorded this like forever ago.
It's
like 2 weeks. Like 2 weeks.
Like we didn't record this in July of 2019.
Yeah. Which would be incredible foresight for me to know. But I guess maybe not for the head coach. That would have been before the season even started.
Yeah.
I should make a bold prediction now.
For next football season?
Yeah, make you guys think this is coming out in like 2022. I'm like, I'm glad all you guys survived that nuclear war. But anyway, we try to pick some segments that aren't quite topical or more just like, things about us. And fact check had to happen. Hopefully there were no fact checks during the Ray Winnery interview.
There may be.
Yeah.
So, that being said, this month's topic is about gray aliens.
Yes.
Oh, gray aliens, those are the funny little things, right? You're fucking wrong. They're not funny.
Listen.
They're scary as shit.
More than anything, this segment is not paraformal. Do you know what this segment is called? Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, I was going to say it.
I really want this episode to be called Grey's Anatomy.
Well, that's on you.
So, gray aliens.
Yes, gray aliens. Well, first I want to touch on this. Do you know that there's a close encounter scale?
Scale? What do you mean scale?
Scale from 1 to 5.
5 being you got anally probed,
no.
And 1 being you just making stuff up?
No, that's not quite the scale. I think anal probe's like a 4.
Well, okay, why don't you break down the scale for us?
I will tell you the scale. Although I'm not the most positive. I'm a little shaky on the scale about just being honest, but I think I know it pretty well.
Yeah.
So 1 is Close Encounters of the First Kind, and that.
Oh, okay. Because I've seen The Fourth Kind, the movie,
yeah,
and that makes sense.
So Close Encounter of the First Kind is initial sight, like you think you see something in the distance and it's gone.
It's like Signs with the camera when it's walking across like Bigfoot.
No, that's actually Close Encounter of the Third Kind.
Okay. So this one is just you see it.
Yeah.
What if you see a UFO?
What?
What if you see a UFO? Is that the first kind?
Yes.
That's where I'm living.
Close Encounter of the Second Kind is like they're closer. I think it's like you're pretty sure that's a spaceship.
Have you ever seen a UFO?
No, I wish I did.
Okay.
Close Encounter of the Third Kind.
Wait, what's 2?
Closer than the first kind.
Like 100 yards, or like one Tom Brady pass. Like what is?
No, like it looks like it's close enough where it looks like a cigar, or it looks like a saucer.
It's not just a light,
right? Yeah.
But wouldn't you argue? So wait, the first kind is you see an alien.
No, not an alien. Like a ship.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought it was like you see it and it's gone, like a freaking alien. So you're saying the first kind is if you quickly potentially see a ship or a light in the sky.
Yes, that's right.
And then 2 is where you're like, that's a ship.
Like that's a cigar ship, or like that's a pipe sombrero Mexican hat ship.
Smoking Joe alien up there.
Close Encounter of the Third Kind is seeing alien on the ground.
Okay.
Close Encounter of the Fourth Kind is they've actually abducted you.
Gotcha.
Close Encounter of the Fifth Kind, I think, is bullshit and doesn't really exist. that's when they channel through a person.
Channel through a person.
Yeah, like, you know how you like a channel a ghost?
Yeah.
It's like that kind of same thing.
Okay. If you had to experience one, what would you choose?
Like I get to pick?
Yeah.
Close Encounter of the Third Kind.
So you see one, but they don't touch you. You're good. You just see him. You know, he stares at you like the guy did from As You Like It as he's walking off the stage. Like he's walking and he's making eye contact with you, and you're kind of like,
that would be the most game-changing encounter. Except for I guess number 4 would be pretty bad. But I don't want that one.
And then you're like, and then now we're friends now. But you know, at the time it was okay.
Like how we met.
I think I would agree. I'd probably want to see. I'd want to be 2 or 3. Currently living at 1, but I'd want to be 2 or 3.
Do you want to talk about your little encounter?
Not here.
Okay.
Because I don't know if it's a gray.
I mean, this seems like the perfect time because we're just talking about encounters right now.
The perfect time. Well,
do you want to save it?
I do plan on eventually one day having my buddy on to tell the story, like Thee's story.
Okay.
Which isn't necessarily aliens. But I will say this, and we'll probably touch on it more then. One time, my buddy and I were walking around because we used to have a game where we'd walk and try and hide from cars. We were older than I'd like to admit, but it's been over 5 years. But we saw this light, and at first I thought it was a shooting star because it was like really bright, and like just, if it would have lasted 1 second, I would have been like, "That's a shooting star." But it didn't have an arc, it didn't fade, and it lasted longer than a second. What it did is it was really bright and it was like slow, so I thought at first it was really far away. But then it it was going slow straight across the sky, and then it just shot. So like shooting star, slow, little, like maybe if you're holding your hand up to the sky, maybe like 2 inches, and then it gained speed, parallel, shot across the sky.
I wonder how far that 2 inches was.
No, like it's dark out. There's no way to like gauge distance.
No,
I'm not even good at that in terms of planes and stuff.
No, I know. I just wonder how far that would have been for them. Like if they moved 2 inches, like how far that would have been. Like miles? I guess so.
It depends how high they were.
I guess.
They were, I mean, they were definitely. It wasn't like treetops. It was.
Was it okay? Was it higher than a plane?
It could have. See, I don't know, because my initial thought was shooting star, which would be our like breaking into our atmosphere, which is high.
Yeah.
But like, I really have no judge. Like, the most striking thing is just the fact that it didn't fade and it didn't like arc. It was just like slow, bright, and then it shot faster, parallel. And I'm not saying it's alien, but it was a UFO. It wasn't a normal plane. It could have been. It could have been built by human. Yes, absolutely. But is it fun to think? Sure.
So that would be a close encounter of the first kind.
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm glad we touched on that because I want to keep referencing that scale.
Okay.
Tyler, do you know what grays are? Like, do you haven't like? Do you? I guess we don't know, but do you think you know what grays are? Because there are 2 prevalent theories.
I am colorblind. Let me preface with that. I am colorblind.
Well, yeah, okay.
They're not green.
Well, no, they're gray. Although I have heard of them being brown.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Are they the ones with the big heads?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the typical kind of alien movie.
Gotcha.
Not alien, but
to what degree are you asking what I know about them?
Like, I almost want to know what you know before I go into my craziness.
The good thing is I don't know much, so these are going to be genuine questions.
Okay.
But it's like, I don't know what scale. It's like, do you know they're from outer space? Like, yeah. And a lot of people think that they could be demons rather than aliens. So, like, that's something. But it's like, I've never done the research on it.
Actually, this is from the Betty and Barney Hill case, which I'm going to get to later.
Yes.
But apparently, they're from Zeta Reticula.
Okay.
Which is a star system. I don't know where.
Have you heard the theory / I'm going to try my best to not take you off on tangents because I know you did the time and the research, and I want you to be able to do your cohesive paraformal. But did you hear that scientists, I don't know. People were saying that they're studying a star and they thought they might have stumbled upon like an alien infrastructure. Have you heard about that?
Infrastructure?
It's like, okay, they're saying...
Are you talking about the comet?
No.
Oh.
Like scientists reviewing a star or a moon. It's been a while, like a couple years. Mm-hmm. And they were saying that there's something solid that's not moving in front of the way the light is reflecting, like there's something blocking it. So they're saying that there's something physical in front of whether it be the planet, the star, the moon, whatever. So they're saying, did they find Like, you know, what we would call a space station, but it's not our galaxy. Well, I can't speak to the specifics. It's not our solar system. Okay. So you didn't hear about this, I'm assuming.
No.
Interesting, right?
That is very interesting.
I have no more details on it.
I wonder if that's Zeta Reticula. That'd be interesting.
Right.
Okay.
What is? Can you say it slowly?
Zeta
Reticula. Yeah. Zeta Reticula.
Mm-hmm.
Did they choose that or we choose that? Because that's pretty we fucking.
We picked it.
That's pretty bold of us.
We picked that one.
The aliens are like, fuck you. You know what? Your planet's now called Detroit. Suck it.
No. So I'm gonna go with this first. Greys. There are two theories of what greys are.
Okay.
What they have. Well, you know what they look like. They're like short little guys, about 4 feet tall.
Short, really?
Yeah, they're not tall. Okay. They're like 4 to 5.
Like Paul.
Yeah, that's exactly what a gray is.
If Greys were Seth Rogen.
Well, I mean, they'd be pretty funny.
They'd be a little annoying. But
I like Seth Rogen a lot.
I do too. When you wear glasses, dude, it's a little striking.
Get out of here. Get out of here with that.
I'm blushing.
Oh no, the laugh.
Before you say it, do you believe one of these to be true?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we'll get into that.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So the first idea is that they're their own race that they've developed from God knows what. I think insects. They have a hive mind mentality, but they are also like organic individuals.
That would make sense from insects, like ants.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other theory is that they are a subservient race that was biologically developed by another race of aliens to be subservient to them. Usually reports of seeing greys also follow reports of seeing this other type of alien as well, which is known as the tall, thin white, which looks kind of like a gray, except tall, thin, and their white skin, like pale, like translucent almost.
Okay, that makes sense. I was wondering.
Usually reports of greys follow being involved with other aliens as well, usually the tall whites, sometimes Nordics, and also sometimes reptilians.
So, do they have to be mutually exclusive?
What do you mean?
Like, does it have to be one or the other? Is there any way that, like, the Greys could have been?
Could they have evolved and also biologically created?
Yeah,
I don't think so. I think it's one or the other. Do you want to know what I feel?
Sure.
I think it makes a lot of sense that they've been biologically created by the tall, thin whites.
Okay.
That makes so the way they act, the tall thin whites have developed to a certain point where they've created their own like slave race that doesn't really feel like humans do.
Okay, maybe they created us.
That's another.
I know we're not getting into that.
That's another thing. That's
so are you saying that it's rare for somebody to have a sighting of just a gray?
Yes and no. And what I mean by that is, if it's not rare to see a sighting that's of a gray of the third kind that's just gray. However, it is rare to see a sighting of a gray of the fourth time that's just a gray.
So if you get abducted,
chances are you're going to see more than just a gray in the spaceship.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't know why subservient would naturally follow that then.
What do you mean?
Like, if it's okay, if you can see a gray just out and about, but then if you get abducted, you see a white and a gray.
Well, usually if they're out and about, they're probably on a mission to do something, and they would be directed to do that.
I guess it feels bold to me to assume that, rather than like them working together, or you know.
In my mind, it makes a lot of sense because of how they act. They don't really communicate, or at least you can't verbally hear them communicate. So a hive mind makes a lot of sense, and you'd want to build that into a subservient race. You want to be able to overpower them, and also if you've evolved to this capacity to travel through space and time and such, I think building a race that is biologically engineered is not beyond the realms of possibility.
Oh, I think it's a possibility. I just don't know if it's the likeliest one.
I think. Have you?
I don't want to get too hung up on this.
Have you played Halo?
No.
Okay, so in Halo, the villains are the Covenant, and they are kind of like, the grunts are kind of like the Greys to the elites.
Well, that could be why it makes more sense to you two, because that's more ingrained in you from playing the game.
Well, the way you're saying is kind of how the Covenant's set up. The grunts weren't made by the elites. They're a pact. That's what a covenant means.
I guess I'm just saying, like, since it's such an unknown, to be able to pin that detail. It's like, there's a lot we don't know about aliens, but for sure the white ones got the gray ones subservient. Like, it just seems kind of like, seems like a random thing to be specific about.
I guess it doesn't, I guess it's not, like, known, but I think that's what makes the most sense to me.
Oh, that's fair. And that is fair.
Okay, moving on. So, there's also something else about grays I want to point out.
Okay.
Normally in movies, like, I recently saw Jupiter Ascending, I think it's called.
I heard it was good. I did not see it.
It was fine.
Come see, come saw.
But they have a representation of grays in that movie that are probably one of the scarier ones I've seen. Well, probably a lot of people don't share that opinion, but that's pretty scary. But they're like short little monsters that crawl on the wall. Like most movies, they are depicted in this movie as being naked. However, that universally has not been the sighting kind of case.
Okay. There's a movie I saw a couple years ago that was creepy, and probably like 5 years ago. I can't remember what it's called. It's like Night Skies. Or
Fire in the Sky?
Maybe. It's the one where the dad is out back and his mouth is just wide open staring at the sky. And like they like hold themselves in at the house while they get like...
Oh man, I don't know what that's called.
I think it's called Dark Skies or Night Skies or something like that. It was a good alien movie. Fourth Kind, obviously we already alluded to it. Mm-hmm. That's a really good...
I like Fourth Kind.
So scary, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. The tangents are going to keep happening. I apologize.
It's alright. But anyway, normally they actually wear clothes.
Really?
They wear clothes.
Like our type of clothes or like cloths?
No. They don't have like a loincloth. No, they either
the grays are packing.
They've been known to wear like skin tight kind of like suits.
Oh, okay.
They've been also known to wear like boxy kind of armor.
They're on some Star Trek shit.
Man, sometimes I just think about grays and they creep me the fuck out. Oh god, I'd punch one. I'd punch in the fucking face.
I'm gonna give you a survival guide quiz.
But yeah, they're known to wear little clothes, which I think is super fucking cute. Like, how would you be less scared of a gray if it came up to you wearing like a little box?
A little box on some solid snake stuff. I don't, dude. I'd be freaked. Yeah, no matter what it was wearing. Okay, it could be wearing a Baker Mayfield jersey, but if I see an alien, I'm gonna freak out.
Okay, I guess that's fair. That's fair. But the idea of them wearing clothes is, I don't know. It's just less creepy.
Imagine just like an alien in like their starship or whatever, just shopping. Like the alien Old Navy.
Can you imagine? Okay, can you imagine someone having like just like a bad day with like shopping cart, like a cigarette hand on its mouth, with like a ripped jacket, just like, oh god,
I don't know, getting that alien minimum wage. Life's hard in space.
So I want to touch on. I'm kind of moving into stories, kind of not. All right, so there's a base, a military base in the United States.
In Ohio or the one?
No, it's near Area 51, but it's not in the same state. I think it's Utah. I should look that up. But I think it's Utah. And it is called Ladose or Ladoche. I think it's Ladose.
Okay.
And this base is supposedly home to a whole bunch of aliens and humans working together.
Okay. Making Apple phones and stuff.
Who fucking knows what they're doing? But it's got like lots of like levels below the ground.
Okay.
What's that called? Sub-levels?
I guess. Basements.
Okay. So it's got like
a lot of basements.
It's got like sub-levels. And starting at the fourth floor is where humans and aliens start to mingle. And in this... Where was I? Ladose?
Yeah.
All right.
Are we past the Zenatifiler? That Zeta
Reticula?
Are we done with that?
I mean, no.
Okay, so we're coming back. We're coming back.
Why? Do you want to touch on anything?
It was...
Yeah, we're kind of past that. Like, I'm not going to talk about it again. Why?
What is that?
Zeta Reticula?
Yeah, what is
That's their solar system.
Where?
I don't know where it is. Like, I couldn't point out in the night sky.
Where did it come from? Like, who was like, this?
That's Betty Barney Hill. That's another story. I wasn't going to mention that in the story, but I will come back to it if you want me to. Just remember when we get to Betty Barney Hill.
Okay.
Okay, so Dulce Base. Dulce Base has humans, like, doing administrative work, all from first floor to the third floor. And then from the fourth floor down is reptilians, greys, and another type which I cannot remember right now. But mostly it's greys and reptilians.
And they're working together.
Yes.
Humans, reptilians, greys, and something else are all working together.
Yes. I think it's tall, thin whites, actually.
On
Earth. on I don't know what.
Okay.
Lord knows what. Experiments, human mutant hybrids.
Okay.
Lots of stuff. They got some stuff brewing down there, the Dulce base. And the way it kind of works, the Greys are like assistants to the reptilians and humans. They're not like full status civilians of the base.
Okay.
They don't generally eat with humans or reptilians. They eat by themselves because all they can have is this like bag substance that's like green. That's all they can eat.
Where is this coming from?
Where is it coming from?
Yeah.
Or my sources?
Yeah, I don't mean like links. I mean like somebody had to say this. You know what I mean? Somebody had to be like,
oh, yeah. Well, there's a guy, I can't remember his name. I think he's Phil, but he was like a scientist working in the base. And he claimed to have sources and post them online. However, they can't be found. So I'm pretty sure the Dulce is bullshit.
Okay.
I was going to get there in the end.
Okay.
But apparently... So do you want me to go back to where I was?
No, whatever you want to say of it.
Okay. So the Greys, I guess, worked with reptilians, and they were part of this like big experiment thing. And like this guy, Phil, got close to some of the reptilians that wanted to like break out of the Dulce, and nothing really happened of it. I think they got killed.
Okay.
Phil's an asshole.
Damn it, Phil.
Phil's full of shit because he sent his sources to some lady who's fucking crazy, and she's like, "Oh yeah, it's all true," but she never posted anything for it. Okay. It was all really it's a fiction, really.
Okay.
The Dulce, I don't know. I like to believe it's true though. I think
it's interesting.
Wouldn't it be fun if there was something like that?
It would make me wonder because what they're working on. Because I've read some stories where people claim that like in the last 30, 40, well, longer. Sorry, that's the 90s or 30 years now. Mm-hmm. The last 50, 60 years, like our immense, like ridiculous advancement technology is because in the 50s or whenever when a spaceship crashed, like
Roswell.
When we were like working with them to develop advanced technology, and that's why all of a sudden we're like, oh, iPhones and crazy stuff like that. And I mean, nothing you can prove, but it's interesting.
Well, I mean, people also think I don't know the source on this, but I've heard that there was a deal made.
Yeah, president. Right.
Yeah, president made a deal with the Grey species to allow abductions in trade for technology.
Was that Nixon?
I want to say Reagan.
Oh, it might have been.
Or Truman.
No, I don't think it was Truman.
When was Truman?
It might have been Truman. I think in the Men in Black movies it was Truman.
It might have been Truman. I think it was Truman. If you know who it is, please hit me up. But I mean, it makes a lot of sense because of how UFOs have like significantly increased.
Yeah.
There's a statement, one of the stories I'm going to get to, about the aliens say we have the right.
Okay.
And I think they're referring to that deal.
Oh, because they were agreed.
They have
agreed
the
upon
right
contract to do something.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Tyler.
Yes.
So I'm going to cover 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
5.
cases of what Greys have done.
Okay. So these are first-hand accounts?
Yes.
Okay.
I had a count. Well, first I'm going to cover is, I think, the least likely. It's crazy.
Okay.
It's a crazy little story. Astonishing Legends did a series on this event. It was pretty cool what they did, but I'm going to touch on it really quick. Although they're not actually claimed as Greys because of how strange the event was.
Okay.
Hellier, that show that's on Amazon Prime.
What is it?
Hellier.
Okay.
They talk about this as well.
This experience?
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Okay.
And this is about the Hopkinsville goblins. And
so you think this is likely a little bit unbelievable?
It's kind of crazy.
Okay.
What happened? So there's this family, the Kelly family, and they were carnivore workers.
Carnivores? They were carnivores.
They're carnival workers.
Carnivore. What year, location?
Year 1930s, Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Okay.
Actually, remember that lunar eclipse in like 2016, 17?
Yes.
I think it was 16. That went right over Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Oh, dude, I saw a video of somebody who's on an airplane when it went through, and it was really cool.
Cool.
I think it was 17, though.
Anyway, so this encounter is the Hopkinsville goblins. And what happened was this family, it was hanging out, 1930s. It was kind of getting late at night, 10, 11 o'clock, and they see a crash. They see something crash into the ground not too far away from their house.
They saw the crash, or they saw the aftermath of a crash?
They saw the crash.
So they saw something fall from the sky?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Shortly after that, half hour after that, they start seeing these little things coming out of the woods. And they look like goblins. Big eyes, just little small noses, big ears. And they start attacking this house. And the Kelly family didn't take that. They took out their shotguns and they went to fucking war with these Hopkinsville goblins.
This is Kentucky, motherfuckers.
That's right. They let the Confederate flag fly. And they shot
some dark ass goblins.
And they shot these goblins. And they killed, I think by their count, like 15 of them.
Dude, there's some family in Kentucky that's got goblin heads on their wall, man.
Well, here's the thing. The cops came and they couldn't find any bodies.
Interesting.
Isn't that kind of fucking weird?
Well, it's like in a game when you kill somebody and they just dissolve and
fade away.
They're like, well, they left their ammo, but in a health pack.
Yeah, I don't know. That's like it makes until that point where the bodies disappear, it's really compelling.
Yeah, I mean, it's no matter what, it's interesting. And this is the 30s?
Yeah.
Okay.
30s or 40s, I can't remember.
Yeah, but I mean, like, here's what I would be like, what would compel them to lie about this?
I don't know. That's also a strange thing. I don't know, though. I mean, okay. Maybe neighbors hear a lot of gunfire.
And they're just trying to...
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting.
But also, they found a crash site.
The police did?
Yes.
Okay. But they didn't find what crashed. They just saw, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe they're interdimensional beings that can't be killed.
Maybe. So the thought is that Hopkinsville goblins were actually Greys. Okay. Wearing, like, remember how I mentioned they wear costumes, little outfits?
Yeah.
The ears could potentially have been part of the costumes.
Those little, like, boingy antennas thing.
Yeah. Maybe like some kind of HUD, like physical HUD.
They were all just little baby Yodas.
So I'm going to hit Travis Walton because it's...
Don't hit him.
He's had a lot happen to him. It's my least favorite of the stories. Travis Walton has a book out and a movie out called Fire in the Sky.
Okay.
Have you heard of that?
Yes.
Did you see it?
No.
I saw a scene from it. It's fucking scary.
When did it come out?
Not that long ago. I mean, not like... I think like 2010s, 2011, 12.
Last 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead. Sorry.
When did Travis Walton happen?
Yeah.
I think the 80s. I don't remember.
Okay.
The only one I remember the date for is Betty Barney Hill. I don't remember. I think Ed Gulf Breeze is the 80s as well.
Okay.
Just
Do you know the location of this one?
Yes.
Okay.
Pacific Northwest. So Seattle-ish area.
Idaho, apparently.
Yes.
That's a long callback.
So Travis Walton is a logger.
Okay.
A lumberjack.
Logger. He's beer. He is beer.
But he is a lumberjack by trade.
Okay.
And him and his lumberjack crew were out at night. They weren't drinking. They were sober when this happened.
They were trying on their new favorite flannels.
Yeah, that's right. So they were out and they were going through the woods. I think they were hunting. All of a sudden they come across this ship in the woods. Then they see this light and they start to like approach it. And Travis gets a little closer than everybody else. And they're like, Travis, we should get out of here. We don't know what this is. We gotta go. But Travis keeps going. And what happens is the ship kind of sees them. And by that I mean like lights focus on him.
Okay, say that little personification.
And it takes off really quickly.
Okay.
And Travis is blown back. And he is injured.
Oh, so he's physically blown back.
Yeah, he's physically blown.
She's like, I'm blown away. So he physically was...
Yeah, he's physically blown back and physically injured.
Okay.
And then after that, while the ship is taking off, the loggers are getting out of there. They're already heading out while Travis is being blown back. And they don't see that Travis is taken by said ship.
The ship took him.
The ship took him.
With like the beam, like the traditional beam?
I suppose. They didn't see it.
Okay.
But he was taken. And the loggers go back and they file a missing persons report.
Is it loggers or is it lumberjacks?
Or is it the same
both?
thing? I think it's both.
I don't know.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
So they file a thing, but they are also subjected to, what's it called? Not a lie detector test.
Okay.
What's it called though, for real?
It's a lie detector test.
No, but like, they have another name for it.
Polygraph.
Polygraph. They took polygraphs. Except for one of them, they all passed. And the one who failed took it again and passed. And they said they didn't kill him.
Okay.
Which is true, because 5 days later, he shows up in the desert of Arizona naked.
So he went from the Pacific Northwest to Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Naked. Damn. They
Um,
stole his threads. We're going to be seeing lumberjack aliens now.
And the theory is that he was taken because they felt bad because they hurt him.
Oh, so they made him better.
Yeah.
But naked.
Yeah, he doesn't remember what... and apparently he's been to a psychologist and has done, like, regression therapy, and he's, like, remembered what happened.
Repression therapy or regression?
Regression, sorry.
Okay.
And now he was adopted, and he remembers what happened, I guess.
Really?
Apparently.
Imagine being that psychologist who gets to unleash that, and he just starts spilling all this information. That'd be crazy.
That'd be nuts.
Yeah.
So that's Travis Walton, pretty much. His family finds him, they take him to a doctor, and then some other stuff happens with it. It's not that important.
But
really.
what did he say about the experience?
He said, I mean...
you said he remembered.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the movie. It's kind of like the movie. It's, he didn't have a good time. That's about as... I mean, like, they did probes all over his body.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't have a fun time. Although, I mean, that almost seems counterintuitive if they wanted to help him. I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to scare him.
No idea.
I don't know either. But, Travis Walton, he's basically been... claims he was abducted, and he came back, and then for a long time he didn't know what happened. He wrote a book, and his life got ruined. And he's still alive.
How did his life get ruined?
I mean, no one believes him. He's lost his wife. He lost his fucking career. I think he's got disability.
How long? How long did it take him to get his memory back?
I think years.
Wow.
I think years.
Okay.
The next case is Betty and Barney Hill.
Betty and Barney Hill.
They are from Vermont.
Did you know they were an interracial couple?
Were they? That's crazy.
Sorry, there's an editing joke somewhere in there.
Yeah, I did know that. They're one of the first. Betty was an engineer, and Barney was also went to school to be an engineer, but this is back in, like, the 40s and 50s, where that wasn't really a cool thing.
So this isn't the first?
First? What do you mean?
Like, story.
Yes, it is the first story.
But didn't the other one take place in the 30s?
The Hopkinsville Goblins. This is the first abduction story.
Okay, gotcha.
Forgive me, sorry.
Okay, this is the very first abduction story.
Yeah, like, you challenged me, and you're right to do that. I'm like, yeah. No, yeah, you're right. This is the first abduction story.
Gotcha, okay. Well, it's weird, because the 30s seems like so long ago. So when you were saying an interracial couple, and I was like, before the 30s? Like, I'm not saying that never happened. I'm just saying it's not,
That's true.
Society,
Yeah.
Crazy. So anyways, go ahead.
Well, this takes place in Vermont. They were on their way back from Canada. They had just taken vacation to Canada.
Why? No, just kidding.
I don't know why.
Good for y'all.
They went to the falls, and they didn't have a lot of money because it was like a really spontaneous trip, actually. Anyway, Barney was a postman. Was an African American postman.
Okay.
So they're on their way back. They're on their way back from Canada. They're coming home. They have their dog with them. I can't remember the dog's name. It's a stupid little name, but he's like a little dog. I think a Dauschenheimer. Is that a dog's name?
No idea, dude.
The wiener dog.
So they had a dog.
He's a wiener dog.
They have a dog.
So they see this thing start following them. Like a close encounter of the first kind starts to follow them. It starts becoming a close encounter of the second kind.
Okay, so it's in the sky following them.
Yes, it's in the sky following them. And it's following them for like a couple miles. And all of a sudden, it disappears. And they say, okay, that's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens is they see a construction worker in the road. And it pulls them off to a side highway.
A construction worker makes them take a detour?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So they pull off into this highway, and on this highway, they see this ship that's parked. And Barney gets his gun out of the car. All that time is happening. Betty is saying, Barney, stop, we have to...
So while they're on the highway, they see a ship on the side of the road, and then they stop their car and get out by the ship.
Yes.
Okay.
And, well,
not a lot of scary movies back then to warn them that they should not be doing this.
Yes, that's right. And Betty says, Barney, we got to keep going. And he pulls out his gun and goes, well, but Betty, I need to take care of this. And he pulls out his gun.
Jesus.
He looks into the spaceship and he sees, oh God, the description is crazy. It's like they're wearing these uniforms. And he sees this one with like a captain's hat. And he sees like, he's got like a real stretched out face, like almost like
Men in Black.
Yeah, the Men in
Black
Black
pulls his skin.
Is that
better?
Mm-hmm. And he sees him smiling like that. So he shoots, and the gun stops working. And then after that, they wake up hours later, on the same highway, but they're almost home.
Wow.
And then they drive to their house, and this part's crazy. They bring in their luggage, they leave it by the door, though, and they go to sleep for a day and a half.
Do they still have the dog?
Oh, yeah, the dog's fine.
All right, cool. I wonder if they abducted the dog.
Do you think they have, like, an alien kennel?
Oh, man, I don't know.
They wake up.
What if the dog was in on it? That's scary.
Set them up.
I'm going to keep my eye on Annie.
So, like, Travis Walton, they go to a psychologist. Although Travis Walton was after this. They go to a psychologist, and they are also regressed. And they start to remember things that happened on the ship. And Barney remembers being on the table, and he remembers little creatures around him, Greys, that are, like, probing him, poking him, asking him questions. But he remembers them putting, like, a clamp, like a suction clamp, around his genitals.
When he says they're asking questions in English?
That's a good question.
Okay.
He understood it as English. I think it was, I don't think he saw their mouth. He didn't see their mouths moving.
Telepathy.
Yes.
Crap. Okay. So they suction cup his genitals.
Yeah, he had the best orgasm of his life.
He said that?
No, he didn't say that. He said he didn't like it, but he fucking liked it. He was like,
I'd pay $50 for it again.
But later on, a couple weeks later, he developed genital warts, like in a circle around his genitals. That messed him up pretty good. Like, he had to get surgery to get them all out.
Wow. Did Betty have any...
No.
She was fine.
She was fine.
Interesting.
She remembered a different experience.
Really?
Yeah. What happened to her was she was probed a little bit, but I guess she was talking back to the aliens.
Oh.
And eventually she was clothed and led to a leader.
With the captain hat.
Yeah. And she was talking to him, and he mentioned...
She's like, did you catch the game last night?
And
it's like, no cable, no satellite.
What happened was, they were talking, and he actually gave her a book, and he said, we're from Zeta Reticula.
Ah,
yes.
Okay.
And then, it's funny, because she came back, and she drew the coordinates to Zeta Reticula. However, it wasn't random. Like, years later, I think it was Stephen Hawking's, like, mapped out, like, the coordinates would be to that solar system, and it was like right on.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Does she still have that book?
No. Of course not, because that would be hard evidence, and they don't have any hard evidence. There's never hard evidence.
Right, but I wonder,
no,
like, does she have a story for what happened to the book?
She woke up and she didn't have it.
Okay. In their luggage?
Like,
out of their luggage?
Yeah. They didn't have it. Of course.
Okay.
But that's essentially the Betty and Barney Hill story.
Wow.
Like, she drew... like what the Greys looked like and stuff. It was...
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely...
They went on like the speech circuit and everything. They've been on there for years. They're dead now, but...
Yeah, wow, that's it. That it feels like a traditional alien abduction story.
That is like the cliche one because it's the first one.
Right.
I do want to cast a little devil's advocate on it.
Yes.
Apparently, around this time, The Outer Limits did premiere a show featuring aliens or something.
In the 40s?
I guess so.
Okay.
But I think that's kind of bullshit. What are the odds that he, like, remembered the things from that? Like, I don't think that's what happened.
Yeah, no, who knows? It's interesting.
The last story I have for you.
Yes.
Ed Walton and the Walton family.
Yes, the Waltons.
Yes. They are from Gulf Breeze, Florida.
Cool.
However, I will point this out. There is a military base near Gulf Breeze, Florida.
Okay. Note taken.
Ed, in his 2-year exclusion?
Exclusion?
No, it's not really right.
Excursion.
Ed's 2-year excursion into the world of aliens. He got about 22 pictures of the UFOs.
Wow.
Yeah.
But he is around a base, so you're saying these could be not alien technology.
I don't know, maybe. But, I mean, he's got more than just, I've got pictures of a weird spaceship.
Well, I'm assuming there's a story since you're bringing it up. Yes. I just mean, like, if his story is false and these pictures are real, it could be that.
Yes.
Okay. That's the devil's advocate.
Yes.
But we're having fun. This is paraformal. We're talking aliens. Continue.
So, I'm just going to give it real quick. Because his story is long and we don't got time for it.
Yeah, we were just talking about this off the air. Consider this an introductory to aliens. We're probably
this is Grey's 101.
Grey's 101. We're probably going to be more we're going to try and become a little bit more specific with the story so that we can really dive into the details. So there'll be a lot more alien stories, but they're going to focus on either one family, one experience, one thing. And the same thing with, everything else, like missing people, ghosts, it's going to be like, but the introductories are good so that when we talk about these again, it'll be kind of like reference back to this episode for the general.
Yeah.
It's just a little taste testing. It's a little taste testing.
So Ed Walton. Not Walton. I want to say Walter.
What is it?
Ed Walters. Sorry.
Ed Walter.
Yes. Is very close to Travis Walton.
Yeah, every time you were saying the other guy, I kept expecting you to say Travis Scott. The aliens were blasting sicko mode.
Okay, so Ed Walters. Over his 2 years, he got these pictures. He was also telepathically harassed by the aliens.
So is that the fifth kind?
Yeah, I guess you could say. I mean, no, it's not the fifth kind because he wasn't channeling them through him.
But but I feel like.
Would you say that the fifth kind then? I don't know. That's an interesting question.
I don't know enough about them to make a definitive.
It's more the fourth kind because it's contact.
Yeah, it's not really abduction though.
No, you're right. I guess
maybe it's the closest. It's the closest story you have today that would even be close to the fifth kind.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so continue. We'll go from there.
So he's harassed by these aliens, and also he is harassed by the second kind. Like he sees the ship constantly.
Okay. What are they? How were they harassing him?
Well, every time he would see the ship come, he would feel his head in a particular start to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I think his right temple. It'd be like pounding headache in his right temple. He would also hear a buzz, like.
Oh. There's just some little voice in his head that's like, "You have a tiny penis. You ain't packing shit."
But he would see the ship as that would happen, and then he would hear voices saying, "Stay calm. We're here to get you.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to take you." He would say, "No, get away from me." Like, it got to the point where he was brandishing his gun in his underwear in his front yard at aliens.
Wow.
Yeah.
So people are thinking this dude's nuts.
Oh my god, yes.
What year was this?
1985.
80s. Okay.
80s.
Okay.
It has become an infection to his family. Like his wife. There's one incident where where he sees an alien outside his window. He gets up with his camera and his gun. His wife also sees the alien, and they're running out to their house. To get to the handle open, he has to put both things down.
To get where?
To get the door open to get the alien.
The handle open?
To get the handle open.
Okay.
He puts both things down, opens the door, forgets both things.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's a missed field goal.
Misfire, yeah.
Yeah. And he's outside trying to get the alien, and it gets away. It's also wearing, like, remember I mentioned the clothes?
Yeah.
He's wearing, like, little boxy clothes.
He's got the lumberjack guys. He's got their threads on.
That's right, yeah.
Long beard. Drinking Boston Lager.
So that's an encounter of the third kind.
Third kind, right.
Yes. And then he sees the alien go up in a light and fly away.
Okay.
That's a crazy one for me. That's like the experience.
Is he still alive today?
Yeah. I think he's still talking.
And this stuff is still happening to him potentially?
No, it's not happening anymore.
Okay.
It stopped after 2 years.
Oh, that's right. You said that. So he was having a 2-year.
Yeah.
Interesting. So he doesn't hear anything, and he doesn't see ships anymore.
No, not anymore.
Okay.
I mean, he wrote 2 books. Gulf Breeze, Sightings. I don't remember the other one.
Man, all these amateur novelists out there trying to make a name for themselves writing. And then you have celebrities just writing books and getting them published right away. And then you got these people experiencing aliens just getting books out right away.
Well, I don't think they're getting published. I think they're getting self-published, Tyler.
Well, that could potentially be true.
Yeah. So he took pictures to this whole thing.
Yeah.
And toward the end of this, like, his venture, he actually was aboard a ship and got to question why they were doing this. And they said they had the right to do that. And that harkens back to that deal with the president. They didn't specifically say because the president gave us permission, but they said they had the right.
So, what was the ship like?
The ship? What was it like? He woke up and it was like a big room.
So wait, he got abducted?
Yes, he did.
You spent like 10 minutes talking about him running outside.
It was like
it's like, oh, by the way, he got abducted.
It was a lot of foreplay up to it. Like he didn't get abducted until the very end, but they got him.
Okay.
They got him.
Oh, okay, we'll have to spend an episode on this guy sometime.
It's a crazy story.
Okay.
Actually, this was my first idea for a Gray episode.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my episode on Greys.
So what? Okay, so that's some famous stories detailing gray aliens. Those are some of the founding fathers of stories. So what are your feelings about Greys? Like, what is your bullshit meter saying? Nah, and what do you think? Like, yeah, that might be true. Where are you at?
I mean, I think that there are creatures. I think there's things we don't know about. I think aliens are among the top because I feel like they're so advanced they don't want us to know about them for some reason. And I think they're floating around somewhere.
But so you think that there either are aliens here or at some point in time they made contact here?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever had any experiences or anything like that?
No, I wish I fucking did.
Well, you're young. You got time.
Maybe. I mean, I also don't want my life to fall apart. Like, I actually was thinking about this the other day. Like, I was like, if anything like that did happen, I wouldn't go public. I would just tell...
The podcast.
No.
Guys, listen, I have a great story.
No, I would tell you. I probably wouldn't tell anybody else. I would probably tell my friends and Stephanie, and that's about it.
Well, judging by the way that this went, you'd probably be like, you'd give me a half-hour-long story about how you might have saw an alien, and then we'll be talking about, like, coffee and shit. And you'd be like, oh, yeah, by the way, they took me up there and they raped me. But you know what? Anyways, so did you catch the game last night? Like, what? Well, yeah, we'll be diving more into the alien stuff. This is like you were saying, this is Grey's 101.
Yes.
And that is January's Paraformal. Okay, guys, so that's our Paraformal. Next week, we will be having our interview with Davey Squires.
Dude, my mouth hurts.
I know, you did a lot of talking, dude. A lot of talking. You're going to have a ripped jaw tomorrow. It's going to be great. You're going to have abs underneath your chin.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. Yeah, so again, next week we're doing an interview, the perfect fifth. It's going to be music related. You know, they're rare. Every now and then a month has 5 Thursdays. And this time we're going to be interviewing Davey Squires. So make sure you guys stick around for that. If you guys enjoy this episode, hit us up, subscribe.
Yeah, give us a 5 stars. Give us a comment telling me about how you feel about aliens.
Yeah, if you guys had crazy... this is something I've pitched to Charlie, and I think it'd be cool maybe potentially going forward sometime. I think it'd be cool to interview people about their stories, whether it be ghosts or demons or aliens. I don't want it to become too interview heavy of a show where we're doing like a perfect fifth interview, a week 3 VIP interview, a paraformal interview. But I think every now and then... So how about this? If any of you want to be on here and tell your paranormal story, shoot us an email at the Seg-Way Podcast at gmail.com and kind of just let us know, because it's something we're open to. It's not something we're planning right now, but we're definitely open to the idea.
Yeah, for sure. I love hearing those kinds of stories.
Me too. It's always fun to hear it firsthand. Like, I mean, when we do the paraformal, we're telling you other people's stories for the most part, which is fun and it's cool, it's crazy, but like to hear a firsthand experience is just different on a whole nother level. So as always, thank you guys for listening. This is the Seg-Way.
The best thing that happened to you on a Thursday.
I'm Dr. McDreamy. Who do you want to be?
I want to be Dr. McSteamy.
Steamy?
Yeah.
Okay.
What
does he just get out of the shower?
No. Have you not seen Grey's Anatomy?
No, I'm dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like how you're coming at me about it, though. That makes me happy.